Every entrepreneur feels this pressure. If I slow down, I'll fall behind. But what if that's the biggest lie we've been told? Hey everyone, I'm Matt Chenard, business coach and leadership consultant. And I'm starting a series, I'm starting a challenge for myself. But 7 years ago, I started posting on social media every single day, and I only missed a handful of days. And the reason I started doing that is to overcome my fear of judgment at the time, of being worried what people would think of me and how they might judge me behind my back or openly. So I committed to that practice because I want to become better. I didn't want that to steal me or my ability to share thoughts with people. I felt like I had ideas to share. And I'm grateful now that over 140,000 people follow me on Instagram. And the thing about it, though, is that I'm grateful for the followers. The follower count is really cool. But I'm really grateful that I've been able to share the gospel, been able to share Jesus and talk with Jesus, pray with people through all that, and the connection I've been able to make, and just how God works in so many different ways that I would never have thought of or dreamt of. Or if I create the storyline, I wouldn't be able to name that myself. But what I had to do for social media is I had to, let's say, mitigate kind of how I like to talk and how I like to share my ideas. And I recently watched a YouTube video and talked about this way of presenting content and talking. It's called the grandpa method. Basically, when a grandpa shares a story, it goes in a bunch of different tangents and eventually they land somewhere, but it takes them a little bit to get there. And you can't do that on short form content. But on YouTube, you can. And I was overthinking this whole process of creating YouTube content when in reality, I just need to create again. And I just need to get better at practicing this new art in long form. So that's what I'm doing. I'm challenging myself to post or create 5 YouTube videos a week, long form content ideas a week. And this is the first one. What is the date? February 18th, 2025. So mark this on the calendars. Maybe I'll go back to this one day and showcase the journey I've had from here, just like I did in short form. I had a really good call today with a client I'm working with who does quite well, high 6-figure earnings, and has had success, bought nice cars. And we were talking about this internal battle that a lot of entrepreneurs have, and maybe just not even entrepreneurs, people in general, that the world is moving so fast and it feels stressful. It feels overwhelming. It feels like you're not keeping up. And what do you do with that? Because no matter where you look, it's advertised to you that you need to be producing more. You need to be working more. And I remember going on vacation for 2 weeks to Italy with Lisa. I think that was 2019 or 2018. And I was observing there was people living in houses that weren't that lavish or luxurious, but I consistently saw them sitting on the front porch with family, visiting, and they looked happy, sitting over food and drink, and they looked content. Now, I don't know the ins and outs. Maybe they weren't, but that was appealing to me. That part of the culture was appealing to me. And I think in the Western world, we've bought this lie that you need to produce and you need to build up this wealth so that you can then rest, so that you can then have freedom, you can then have time. But what if you never make it there, for one? And what if you're missing out on so many different opportunities in the now that you've been afforded, that you've been blessed with, that God's given you the ability to enjoy? What if we're missing all the good today in the relentless pursuit, blind pursuit of an arbitrary number of success tomorrow? And what if that number never comes? What if you look back and say, I had it all along? I had the time, the opportunity for time all along, but I bought into the lie that I needed more material things around me to make myself feel secure, feel powerful, to have comfort. But what if that's backwards? What if God's designed us to add value into the world with what we've been given, our gifts, our talents, our time, our money, our energy, our stories? What if we focus more on stewarding these things in the pursuit of helping others? And the byproduct of that would most likely, with time compounding, be quote unquote success, as the world would call it. I was on a podcast this morning, we were talking about this idea of success. What does it mean? And I think it's someone's ability to steward daily what they've been given and entrusted with excellence, their body, their relationships, their time, their money, without putting themselves in a box of what the outcome needs to be from that. Because I know I get that a lot, that feeling a lot. Like I'm a part of 5 different businesses and I'm around a lot of successful entrepreneurs, and I feel that pressure that I could be producing more, I could be doing more. And sometimes I stop to think about it, but why am I feeling that way? If almost every single person on their deathbed, successful person on their deathbed, had said that if they could do it all over, they would have spent more time with their family. And they then have the realization that they can't take the things they've accumulated with them. In Ecclesiastes, it talks about how eventually no one's going to remember us, our name. But what I've landed on is that you can have a ripple effect with who you are and how you invest your time today. So being intentional every single minute with your kids, with your spouse, with your family, still producing, still working, because I think we're made to add value. That's part of our purpose, to add value into the world. But being intentional with every moment you have. So being intentional with this is my time to create. My wife and daughter are downstairs, and after I'm done pressing stop on the record button on here, I'm going to hang out with them. But I'm going to try to be as intentional as I can with that time and not fixate on what I could have done more of. So I think here's another thing I really think as entrepreneurs specifically, because we tend to not have a clock in, clock out time, we need to give ourselves 3 things to do a day. And then say, if that happens, that's a success. I don't have to stress. Right? What are the minimum effective dose tasks you can accomplish today that will help you feel accomplished in your work? Because it's not wrong to feel accomplished. It's not wrong to produce. As an example, if I go to the gym and I go to the gym, but I don't actually work out, I'm not actually growing physically. You still need to do something. You still need to produce. But if I think I need to go to the gym for 3 hours a day, well, there's a law of diminishing returns. At some point, it's going to be taken from other parts of my life. And why am I working out for 3 hours? Same thing. Why are you going above and beyond in the workplace in the pursuit of more? Isn't the idea that we're trying to gain back time? So if you're losing time and sacrificing time with the good you have today, the blessings you have today, what makes us think that's going to change tomorrow or the next day or in the future? Why do we think that we're going to have this day in our life that all of a sudden things are going to make sense and things we're going to have everything we need? It's not, because you've made something outside of your control the objective, the arbitrary measurement of your success or not. If you can wake up each morning and say, okay, this is what I'm going to focus on in all areas of life: mental, physical, spiritual, relational, professional. This is how I'm going to steward my time. If I do these 3 things in this area, if I do this one thing in this area, that's a success to me, because that means I've stewarded my time and energy and money well. If I miss, hey, it's a miss. Let's call it a miss. But that's okay, because tomorrow's a new day. You're only falling behind your own expectations on where you think you should be today or where you think you should be in the future. And if you don't have a mission and vision set out for yourself, you're going to be blindly chasing every metric of success that someone says you need to have. So this is what you need to do. This is what I recommend my clients do. Define how you want to spend your time. What do you want your lifestyle to look like? How much time do you want to spend with your family? How many times a week do you want to work out? How many vacations do you want to go on? How much money do you want to give? How much time and service do you want to invest into other people? Then look at that time and say, how much time does that allot you every single day in a week? Let's say, how much time does that allot you in a week to invest in your business or businesses? Then you say, okay, if this is the lifestyle I want, then how much money do I need to make in order to invest, to give, to go on these vacations, to live in a house that we like? And that's not the end all be all, but just to say, like, this is what it would cost me. Find that number. Then divide that number by how many hours you're going to work in your ideal lifestyle week. That's what you need to make your time worth. So then you create your businesses and you pursue things that you enjoy and utilize your God-given gifts in the marketplace. And you slowly build up to that number amount. It's not going to happen right away. But especially if you are utilizing your gifts in the marketplace, in your business, you're going to enjoy work. So you're going to come home energized. You're going to come home and be able to play with your kids without constantly thinking about work because you've actually spent time doing what you love in the marketplace. You're no longer drained. You're no longer chasing an arbitrary metric because it's not something that you ever want to retire from. If you find something you don't want to retire from, it's not going to drain your energy because there's not misaligned values and priorities in your life. I think a lot of people get drained and continue to escape through different spending habits because they're pursuing the outcome instead of investing and stewarding their time well and letting the outcome take care of itself, whatever that would be. So define what your life should look like with your time. Stop letting the world tell you how much you need to earn. Stop letting the world tell you what kind of car you should drive or what kind of house you should live in. It's not wrong to have ambitions. It's not wrong to have goals. But it does become a problem when those become the ultimate. And then you end up sacrificing the very thing that is of importance in this world, relationships. Love the Lord your God, then love your neighbor as yourself. Is what I'm doing living into that? Or am I pursuing arbitrary metrics of success and then justifying sacrificing time with the good things in life that I have now at the altar of my own idealization of these markers of success because someone on the internet told me to? So if this resonated with you, please send me an email or let me know in the comments what was helpful to you. I am committing to doing this 5 days a week, just like I did with short form, like I said at the start of the video. And I would love to connect with people. If you found this beneficial, I invite you to subscribe. Again, share what was your biggest takeaway in the comments. Let me know what you want me to talk about in the future. And did this make sense? Was it beneficial? And just in closing, again, really analyze why you feel like you're falling behind. Because maybe you fall into the lie that you need to produce more than you actually need to produce. Maybe you're also blindly chasing success at the sacrifice of what you've been currently given by God to enjoy. Till next time, earn your dopamine.